Sweaty knee pads, whistles blowing, and the sound of a ball hitting the gym floor. That's the game of volleyball that's played around the world today. According to Bollywood.com, volleyball has been played since 1895 and continues to be one of the most popular sports in the world. As a former athlete, I've had the chance to play volleyball for 7 years and attend numerous camps and also help put on a couple camps. Today I'm going to inform you of the basic skills needed to play volleyball, the different positions there are on the floor, and the basic rules that go along with that. If you've ever wanted to play volleyball or had an interest in watching the game, you'll want to be aware of these different aspects to get the most out of your experience. According to wikihow.com, there's 5 basic skills that you need to play volleyball. The first skill that you'll need is serving. There's an example of serving. The server is on the right-hand side of the court in the back row. Each player only gets 1 attempt to serve per rotation, and you'll continue to serve as long as your team has the ball. For a less experienced player, you'll want to serve underhand. For a more experienced player, you'll serve overhand. For the overhand serve, you'll want to toss the ball in front of you and raise your dominant hand in the air and bend your elbow. Then you'll straighten your elbow and strike the ball. For an underhand serve, you'll hold the ball out in front of you again. With your dominant hand, you'll want to make a fist and then strike the ball out in front of you. The next skill that you'll need is to pass. To pass, you're going to want to have a stance where your feet are about shoulder length apart, and then you'll want to get down low. You'll want your arms free out in front of you, and then you're going to need to make a fist with your left hand and then take your right hand and wrap it around your fist. You'll have your thumbs pointing downward and your arms straight out in front of you, but don't have your elbows locked. Then when the ball comes towards you, you'll want to push up with your legs and angle towards your target. The next skill that you'll need is setting. This is an example of setting. You want to again have your feet shoulder length apart and have your hands held high in the air. You're going to want to make a triangle with your hands, and when the ball comes towards you, you're going to want to hit the ball with your fingertips and push up with your legs. You also can't slap the ball with the palm of your hands. That's illegal and it's known as a lift. The next skill you'll need is spiking the ball. You'll want to do an approach towards the net, lift your dominant arm, and bend your elbow. Then you'll want to keep a curved hand and then spike the ball with the palm of your hand and hit it over the net. The goal is to have it go sharply downward and hit the opposer's side of the court. The last skill that you'll need is blocking. This is for the receiving side. The front row players are going to try and stop the attack. You'll need to time your jump accurately so you're able to slap the ball back onto the opposer's side. The goal is to send the ball straight down to the floor. You can also stop the power that's behind the ball. You'll want to jump up, hit the ball, roll back on your fingertips, and go back to the other player so they can pass it up. A block also does not count as one of your 3 hits. There's also 6 different positions in volleyball according to volleyballadvisors.com. These 6 different players can hit the ball 3 different times, and there's 3 players in the front row and 3 players on the back row. In the front row, there's the right side hitter, the outside hitter, and the middle hitter. These people will be attacking the ball, which was the 4th skill that we talked about. In the back row, there is the setter, which is the 3rd skill we talked about. There's a defensive player, and then there's the libero. The libero will be wearing a different colored jersey because they're a defensive specialist, and they can replace any player. There are also rules for playing volleyball. There's some basic rules from strengthandpowerforvolleyball.com. You can only have 6 players on the court, and you can only hit the ball 3 times. Also, 1 player cannot hit the ball twice in a row. If the ball hits the net or any line here on the court, it's still considered in. It is going to be considered out if the ball hits one of the antennas here, or if it lands anywhere in the blue here that's outside the court. Any player cannot catch, throw, or hold the volleyball. Also, when you're serving, You cannot step on the service line, which is right back here. You have to serve from behind that line. Or you cannot serve out of order for the players. You can also not touch the net here. The front row players can't touch the net, and also their feet can't cross over that line. For a game of volleyball, it goes to 25 points, and there's 2 games in a match. When the first game is over, the teams will switch sides and play the next match. You also have to win the match by 2 points. If the games are tied, then you'll play a third match to 15 points. Today I've informed you of the basic skills, positions, and rules of volleyball. Next time you're playing a game of volleyball in your backyard, take what you learned today and apply it to that game. You can also teach others what you've learned so you can have a more enjoyable game. Also, when you're watching a game of volleyball, you can pay closer attention to what's going on the court and have a better understanding. With this better understanding, the game of volleyball will become more enjoyable for you. Others will also want you to fill them in while you're watching the game.